Proud to serve northeastern and central Pennsylvania. This is WNEP 16, the news station. Now, Nolan Johannes, Karen Harch, pilot Jack Rulin in Skycam 16, Chief Meteorologist Tom Clark, and Joe Zone on sports. This is Newswatch 16.
Some credit cards can be used just for filling up at the gas pump or shopping at a department store. On the other hand, MasterCard and Visa can let you buy all kinds of things all over the world. But Action 16's Jerry Gartenberg says when you pay with these cards, you may be paying out more than you have to.
Banks all over the country issue MasterCard and Visa and charge you and me interest when we don't pay off what we owe. Most Pennsylvania banks charge 18% a year on unpaid MasterCard or Visa purchases. Some out-of-state banks, which lure us with offers like these, charge even higher interest.
You might call it a rip-off.
University of Scranton economist John Junta says other interest rates have dropped the last 5 years, but the rates banks charge their credit card customers haven't.
As long as they can make a good profit, and the other rates, or people do not object to paying those rates, they stay up.
Are the current credit card rates charged at this bank and others, in your view, are they justified?
Sure. I think they are justified. They do reflect our cost, and the area banks are not trying to put the squeeze on the consumer.
But if you think those credit card interest charges you're paying are too high, I've got some suggestions. These Arkansas banks offer MasterCard and Visa at a 12.5% yearly interest rate, the lowest we could find. The lowest rates offered by banks in our area can't match those Arkansas banks. Another way to beat the interest rate is to take out a bank loan. Some area banks offer them at 12 to 16%. That way, you can pay off what you owe on credit cards, then pay back the bank at a lower rate. Now, officials at some banks in our area tell me they are considering lowering credit card interest rates. But you don't have to wait. You can save money right now. Nolan?
Okay, Jerry, thank you. Luzerne County's fight against child abuse and some other causes is getting a big boost. An amateur boxer from Pittston, who is also a county parole officer, is fighting former heavyweight champ Smokin' Joe Frazier for charity.
Newswatch 16's Mark Davis is live now at Bishop Hoban High School in Wilkes-Barre, where that match is set for tomorrow night. Mark?
Karen, Nolan, right now there's a basketball game, a girls' game between Coughlin and Bishop Hoban going on here in the gym. But tomorrow night, this is going to be turned into a mini Madison Square Garden, complete with a boxing ring and a full fight card. It's all for charity. 36-year-old Jim Marinello has been boxing as a hobby for about 20 years. Wednesday night he goes up against Joe Frazier, a former heavyweight champion of the world, in a sparring exhibition. Marinello's office is decorated with pictures of some of his boxing adventures, but none are bigger than this fight, which was his idea.
I've been fighting child abuse for 11 years I've been here, and I had the idea of making a few dollars when I speak, and I usually turn it over to different volunteer agencies to help fight child abuse. And I thought it'd be a great idea for me to get a lot of money to give to these very, very worthwhile charities.
The Victims Resource Center in Wilkes-Barre will get a share of the proceeds. The money will go towards staff counselors like these.
Money is very tight, and this type of donation will help us have a staff person do extra work helping victims directly through counseling.
Now, you might think a boxing match to benefit the fight against child abuse might be a little bit unusual. Marinello says he teaches boxing, and he teaches it to kids as a way of controlling their emotions. And he says, after all, he and Frazier are going to be out here tomorrow night as an exhibition. They're not out to hurt each other. I'm Mark Davis, Newswatch 16, live with the Instacam at Bishop Hoban High School in Wilkes-Barre. Karen, Nolan?
Okay, thanks, Mark. Our chief meteorologist, Tom Clark, is next with his weather watch.
And the big question, Tom, should the plows be ready to go out again tonight?
I think they should be prepared. Just enough snow to shovel and plow. The longer I look at these weather charts, though, the more anxious I get for spring to come. Man, they look cold. Another change in that temperature trend is coming. I'll be right back.
Here, let's put it in their coffee cup. Oh, boy, wait till they see what we got them for Christmas.
This Christmas, Hills has lots of stylish surprises for them. Timex watches are discounted 20% for Christmas and every day. All with Timex accuracy, Timex durability, and as always, Timex value.
What wonderful Christmas presents.
And that's not all, Mom and Dad. We're doing additions.
Timex watches, discounted every day at Hills.
Be a believer at B. Levy Shoe Stores.
B. Levy Shoes Buy of the Year. Men's Alpine Hikers, $14.90. Nationally advertised at $46, now $14.90. Save $31. Leather padded collar, leather cushion insole, steel shank, genuine Norwegian welt construction, heavy-duty speed lacing, suede leather upper. You can stuff his hikers in his Christmas stocking this year. You've come a long way, and so have we.
Be a believer at B. Levy Shoe Stores.
Come to a B. Levy Shoe store near you.
If you happen to drive along Route 92 near Harding, you'll probably do a double take, maybe a triple take, when this catches your eye. Yes, you're not seeing things. It's a pink elephant right smack in front of Robert Soska's house in Exeter Township. In fact, he created this colorful ice sculpture in 10 hours. Soska first used the snowman-making technique, then he wet down the elephant over and over again to form a nice glaze. But how did it get pink? Well, Soska painted as he built. The pink elephant near Harding in Luzerne County is about as big as photographer Tom Hovey, we're told, who was out shooting those pictures today.
What do you think about that? Wasn't that a piece of artwork there, Tom?
It was, and the good news is that there's no chance of it melting the next couple days.
That's true, yeah.
It will stay there right through the middle part of this week. Good evening, everybody. I can still see the moon shining through the clouds up there, just some high, thin clouds now, but it has been snowing for the past couple of hours over central Pennsylvania, and that snow is moving our way. Before we begin, I'd like to say hi to all the boys and girls and their teachers I spoke to the end of last week at the Exeter Elementary School. Now, tonight's holiday house is not too far from here. It's over in the town of Ashley, and it belongs to Mr. and Mrs. Stephen Prestis along Plains Avenue. And look at that, they've done quite a nice job with some choir boys and girls out in the front yard and lots of lights. Let's take a look at some temperatures now from across the region here. It's 21 degrees. My weather watcher Jerry Mulberger in Warrensville, Lycoming County, 21 with light snow falling. Audrey Hauer, weather watcher from Bloomsburg, reports 27, and Henry Verbois, Uniondale, Susquehanna County, 17 degrees in his backyard tonight. The humidity is 55%, the winds are southeast at 4, and the barometer is falling from 29.94. The high here today, only 33 degrees. That came just past midnight last night as a cold front was pushing through, brought an inch of snow. Look at those records for this date. 58 set last year, tied the record. 4 below is the record low for this date. Now, parts of New York State have been hammered lately by lake effect snow. Very heavy snow the past 2 days, all because of a cold wind blowing in across the lakes, and it picks up a lot of moisture. And that moisture falls in the form of heavy snow squalls downwind of the lakes. And in the past couple days, look at some of these snowfall amounts. Niagara Falls has 20 inches on the ground now. Up there in Watertown, that is a snow capital of New York State, 30 inches of snow on the ground tonight. Now, the snow that's coming across the state at this hour is from a weak storm system. As you can see, it's not all that big and impressive on the satellite view, but it's been responsible for a few inches of snow across Ohio and out in western Pennsylvania. It's moving quickly across the state, but then behind it, a reinforcing shot of very cold air coming down from here, where temperatures today struggled through the single numbers just above the 0 mark. But it's not going to be quite that cold here, but nonetheless, it is moving on through. Now, that is where the storm is coming from for later on in the week. It looks like more snow because look at the steering current of winds between 10,000 and 40,000 feet, allowing another shot of very cold air to be coming in across Pennsylvania. That was the range today at Moosonee, Ontario, Canada. Out in L.A., 80 today. Here's your sunrise for tomorrow morning. That is at 7:23, and the sun sets at 4:35. Overnight tonight into tomorrow morning, 1 to 4 inches of snow is likely. Could be some travel problems for the rush hour tomorrow morning. 15 for the high tomorrow. Flurries, partly sunny on Thursday. In the teens once again. More snow is likely on Friday. I'll have more on that at 11.
Okay, Tom. Thank you, sir.
Joe Zone is next with the Sports Watch, basketball rankings, and frustrated fans.
Plus, Joe continues his review of Penn State's perfect season.
Cold. I hate them.
Mentholate 'em.
Flu miseries. I hate them.
Mentholate 'em. The soothing menthol and mentholatum ointment help medicate 'em, penetrate 'em, alleviate 'em, mentholate 'em.
Nada.
save, save, save. Jean King is Wrangler headquarters for northeastern Pennsylvania. The area's largest selection of Wrangler jeans and cords for women. Boys, Wrangler jeans start as low as $13.88. Men's Wrangler jeans as low as $16.88. At this festive time, I'm Elliot Katuna, the Jean King, the real true Santa.
The Jean King. Hope you have a warm holiday season.
It seems we have some experts on news and current events because for the 4th time this year, this 10th grade class at Sacred Heart High School in Carbondale has won our weekly Newswatch 16 news game. Teacher Robert Smith can be very proud of this 8th period World Cultures class. The sophomores at Sacred Heart had the highest average score in last week's news game. Runner-up this time around, Scranton Tech.
And speaking of champions, in 2 short weeks, Penn State goes for the national championship.
Going to play for the national title. We're looking back over the season. Remember a question early about Penn State's ability to score in the second half. That was never more apparent than in games 3 and 4.
East Carolina came into University Park for game 3. The Pirates start the game off with a big defensive play, but they can't convert the interception into points. That left the Penn State offense to put up the first score. Quarterback John Schaefer, Eric Hamilton, 7-0 Penn State. After an East Carolina field goal, Kevin Woods, 25-yard run, 14-3 Penn State at halftime. Third quarter, an East Carolina touchdown. Fourth quarter, a Massimo Manca field goal. 17-10 the final. Penn State wins its third game, but they scored just 3 points in the second half.
It's strange, but I do think it's the caliber of the teams we're playing and the style of the teams we're playing.
Game number 4, the Meadowlands, New Jersey. No scoring in the first quarter. Penn State finally gets on the board in the second quarter. Dave Clark, 76 yards. It's the longest run ever for a college game at the Meadowlands. It sets up the Lions on the 4, where they score their first TD. Rutgers gets a field goal. It's 7-3, halftime. No scoring in the third, then a Manca field goal, and Steve Smith goes 63 yards up the middle. He goes all the way. It's a 17-3 Penn State lead. That's good enough for a 17-10 win, Penn State's 4th.
Being 4-0 at this stage with all of the bumps and bruises and all the problems we had, and really not having gotten anything out of Dozier is a pretty good job by a lot of kids.
After that win over Rutgers, Penn State moved into the number 9 spot on the national rankings. Iowa back then was number 1. Oklahoma was 1-0 and ranked number 2 in the country. David Shula is honored and he's flattered, but right now he's got the playoffs on his mind, so that's why Don's 26-year-old son won't talk about the Eagles' head coaching job until after the playoffs. Shula is one of the guys being considered by owner Norman Brayman to replace Marion Campbell, who we fired. Assistant coach David will have to leave behind this great quarterback, Dan Marino, if he goes to the Eagles. Marino last night led the Dolphins to a 30-27 win over New England. If the Dolphins win Sunday against Buffalo, they will clinch the division title. Not too much doing in the basketball rankings this week. North Carolina is still number 1. Bishop O'Reilly's Dave Popson averaging 5 points and 3 rebounds a game for North Carolina. Then it's Michigan, Duke, Syracuse, Georgetown, Kansas, Georgia Tech, Oklahoma, Louisiana State, and Memphis State. About 39,000 deer were killed yesterday, and that concerns the Game Commission. First day of antlerless season, the commission was expecting about 50,000 to be harvested. They'll check today's numbers and decide tomorrow whether to extend the season by another day. Our coverage of the buck season had a mother from Frackville a bit concerned. Deborah Miles doesn't like the pictures we showed of dead deer. Please understand it is very distressful for young children, not to mention squeamish moms, to see the mascot of Santa, presents, and ho-ho-ho pulled bleeding from a pickup truck and hung from a tree. Oh, please, God, don't let it be Rudolph, cried my 3-year-old before I changed the station. Silly as it may sound, such is the case for many preschoolers. Respectively, Deborah Miles. You know, that letter really hit home for me. My 5-year-old Christopher runs around the house these days singing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I don't suppose, though, he's seen the dead deer being pulled out of the pickup. He doesn't watch the news. He already knows Dad's act. I guess if he did see the dead deer, I'd tell him what every parent should say. Christopher, that's not Rudolph. Rudolph is a flying reindeer, and flying reindeer are never in season. That's all of it. Give tonight your best shot. See you at 11 o'clock with lots of basketball.
You've got the answers, Dad. There's no doubt about it. Thank you, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
The Skycam 16 models are here, and you can get them at over 24 IGA food stores. The models sell for $2.50, and all proceeds go for a great cause. When you buy a Skycam model, you're helping us get a head start on the Children's Miracle Network Telethon. All contributions benefit the Children's Hospital at the Geisinger Medical Center in Danville. It might be a good idea to phone your IGA to see if it is one of the over 24 stores that now have our Skycam 16 models for sale.
And stay with us. Newswatch 16 will roll out the dough next.
And decorate the house, gingerbread style, next.
Let Pomeroy's put Christmas in your life.
Hager reflection pants are the slimming solution. Waistline stays smooth, pockets lie flat, figure looks trimmer. Hager Reflections. Rolfs and Pomeroy's have the gift for pleasing her. Burgundy leather accessories, women at work classics. And remember him with the personalized gift. Brown cowhide initial choice billfolds, trifolds from Pomeroy's.
Skycam, the Newswatch 16 chopper. Skycam, ready, willing, and able to get you the news. Skycam, the model, now available at local participating IGAs.
Pick up your Skycam models while supplies last. Proceeds will benefit the Children's Hospital Center at Geisinger.
Finally tonight, many of you have probably been busy in the kitchen lately baking up cookie sheets full of holiday goodies. Well, imagine making a living out of holiday baking. That's exactly what's going on here at Bakery Delight in Plains. They've been rolling out what must be miles of dough and decorating dozens of Christmas cupcakes and cookies. Here are the finished products. Filling cake after cake of fruitcake and, of course, using weeks' worth of tender loving care on the gingerbread houses. How do you do all this?
For instance, on the gingerbread houses, every piece is cut out separately and put together. 2,000 pounds of butter go into all our hand-cut cookies, and then we pack them, try and get every color to mix in with each other.
The bakers here in Luzerne County put in long hours getting the holiday goodies ready, but they say they don't mind. The excitement of the season keeps them going.
Karen, you shouldn't do that to us just before dinner.
2,000 pounds of butter? Oh, it sounds too good. That is Newswatch 16 for this Tuesday.
Be sure to join us tonight on The Update when we'll be showing you a surefire way to bring some Christmas magic to senior citizens.
World News Tonight is next with part 2 of a special report on flying the crowded skies.
For the team, thank you for joining us.
Enjoy your evening.